I'm assigned to this role.
Director Hayes.
After the devastation of the Third World War, humanity has crawled from the ashes and is once again reaching for the stars. Two political forces, the corporations and the Order of the New Dawn, are leading the colonization of alien worlds. Military conflict has been banned by treaty on Earth, and those treaties are enforced by nuclear failsafes. But the colony worlds are rife with battles over resources, over trade routes, even for prestige. Livable worlds are rare, and life is cheap.
Hello YouTube travelers, Strategic Sage here, welcoming you to my first new project in a while. I'm excited about this one, Ground Control, which is a tactics-focused RTS from Mammoth Entertainment into the year 2000, so we're going a little bit retro here. Similar to the spiritual successor game, World in Conflict by same developer in 2007, Ground Control has no base building, no resource gathering, no unit construction. It's all about the tactics with the force you have, and unlike its sequel and World in Conflict, there's also no reinforcement point mechanic. As far as I know, this is the purest form of that whole game concept. What I'm going to get to today is the tutorial missions, otherwise known as the boot camp. There's 3 of them. I know some people are not interested in tutorial type material, so if that's you, feel free to come back for the next one when we'll get into the campaign proper. Also, if you're interested in more of the backstory that we saw just a bit of in the introductory video there, I'll be getting to that some near the end of the final tutorial bootcamp mission. There is a good downtime spot to do some of that, and I'll put the timestamp for that in the subtitles right here. With that said, it's time to get to it. Alright, options. We're not going to go with reduced violence. We got volume levels. We're going to do the full unsanitized campaign. Most of this self-explanatory. It's not that complicated. Definitely going with the highest resolution and detail natively available. There are mods/hacks that allow you to do true widescreen HD, etc., but that would make the interface so small that it would be unreadable, particularly in video. So, gonna pass on that. Moving on to the boot camp. And let's see. Let's do this.
Welcome to boot camp. I am Annie 1, your artificial aide. I will help you be a successful ground control commander. Click the next button in the upper right-hand corner to continue.
Annie 1 is voiced by Allison Levine, producer/actress who has a couple of minor film credits in Beautiful Girls and Grumpier Old Men. A lot of the voice talent on this game was not known very much at the time. Some of them have become more well-known, some of them have not. I hope you like the voice of Miss or Mrs. Levine, because we're going to be hearing a lot of her. Probably more than you're going to be hearing of me, especially early on in the boot camp.
First, you must control your view of the battlefield. Move the mouse cursor to the edges of the screen to rotate your view. I've highlighted the edges. Try rotating the view, and then click Next.
Notice we can go all the way around.
The same operation is used to tilt the view upwards and downwards. Practice tilting the view, and when you feel comfortable, click the next button.
But not vertically. That's as far as it goes.
Use the arrow keys to move your view forward, backward, or sideways in the battlefield. Take some time to try it out before the next lesson. Click Next to continue. You can adjust the altitude of your view by pressing the Page Up or Page Down key. Press Page Up 1 or more times to go to a higher altitude. This gives you an overview of combat situations. Use Page Down to go as low as the ground. This can give you a good feel for your unit situation. Click Next to continue.
Yes, that wasn't me accidentally pressing the pause button by mistake. In any case, like, these two are a little bit far apart. This control isn't bad, but I wish there was at least one more in between, like the second and the third one. I always wanted one that's in between those two settings, so it's not quite enough granularity there.
Now that you can control your view, look at the small tactical map in the bottom left corner. The map gives you an overview of the battlefield. The white cone shows you the position and view cone of the camera view. Rotate your view while looking at the map to see how it works. Click Next when you are ready to continue. Your first objective in every mission is to order your soldiers onto the battlefield. They are loaded inside dropships orbiting the planet. Click Next to continue. New drop zone. To call down a dropship, first press the dropship button at the top left of the screen using your left mouse button. Next, select a drop zone by pressing inside the yellow circle on the small map with the left mouse button. Some maps will have more than one drop zone to choose from. Dropship entering atmosphere.
The strategy on where to drop your troops will eventually become important.
Well done. You've dropped your first dropship. The unit in front of you is under your control. Notice a new button has appeared at the bottom of the screen. Click Next to continue. All units under your control have a squad button. The squad button allows you to select your squad, wherever they are on the battlefield. It also gives you squad status information. Click Next to continue.
Now, they don't actually explain what the squad status information is. You can see, like, it's got a number for the control group. You've got the one little pip there, and that's going to give you how many units are in the squad. And then this is the health bar. And we also can see on the tooltip there, we've got some spoilery information about the player.
The vehicle in front of you is your Command Armored Personnel Carrier, or APC. Make sure you keep it well protected at all times. Should the APC get destroyed, so will you. The APC can be used to transport infantry and repair damaged units, but we will cover that later. Click Next to continue. To issue orders to your squad, you must select it. Select your Command APC by clicking on its squad button with the left mouse button. Click Next to continue. You can also drag select squads by holding down the left mouse button and dragging it over the units you want to select. Notice the circle that appears around a selected squad. Select the APC and then click Next to continue. To move your selected squad, click on the ground where you want to move with the right mouse button. Left-click selects a unit. Right-click issues move orders. Move your APC close to the beacon to continue.
Move order received.
Move your APC again to the beacon that has appeared. This time, right-click and while holding the button down, drag the mouse sideways. You'll notice a vector line appear. Point the vector line in the direction you want the APC to face. Release the mouse button, and when the APC arrives, it will point to the direction you told it to face.
Moving at once, Major.
Sometimes you want your view to follow a particular squad. To track a squad, double-click with the left mouse button on the APC squad button at the bottom of the screen. Do this now. Notice how the view attaches itself to the unit. When you rotate your view, it will now orbit the unit instead of turning away. Click Next to continue.
So that whole vector facing thing, you see that does in fact do what they said. But the whole vector facing thing is one of the aspects of ground control that really was pretty new at the time. There weren't very many games that were doing this in the year 2000.
The camera is only attached to the squad until you move it with the arrow keys. Click Next to continue.
We'll just demonstrate that, and then as we turn, it's no longer focused.
The tactical map can also be used to quickly move your view on the battlefield. Simply click on a map location with the left mouse button to move your view to that location. Try it out and then click Next when you are ready to continue.
Okay, so that works quite well. But one thing I don't like about this part is they've locked out our controls, and let's say I wanted to go back to my unit and focus, and they don't tell you can't do that. It just does nothing. So, I find that annoying.
New drop zone. It is time for you to try out some combat maneuvers. A new dropship loaded with Marines is available. This time you will be dropping the squad off at a different location. Click on the new dropship button, and then on the yellow circle in the map. Drop the new dropship to continue. Dropship entering atmosphere.
Won't let me rotate up to watch it.
Note that a new squad button has appeared. Left-click on the squad button to select the Marines. All 8 Marines belong to the same squad. Remember, you always control entire squads, never individual units. Click Next to continue the combat lesson. Attack orders are given by clicking on an enemy unit or building with either mouse button. Note that the mouse cursor changes to a crosshair when you move the cursor over an enemy unit. Order your Marines to attack the 3 supply boxes to continue with the lesson.
Attack order received.
Unfortunately, the unit chatter stuff is tied to the effects volume, so I can't turn that up without turning up gunfire and explosions, which would drown out other
Enemy
things.
structure destroyed. The position of the cursor automatically determines the type of order issued when you click. For additional control, you have 2 modifier keys: Alt for move and Control for attack. Click Next to continue. If you hold Alt down and click at the same time, you will force a move command. If you hold Control down and click, you will force an attack command. Also, when holding Control down, you can drag a box around the enemy units to attack all of them at once. Click Next to continue. If the selected target is out of range, your Marines will move into position before opening fire. Destroy the remaining 4 containers further down the field to continue.
Okie dokie, let's do the drag select idea.
Affirmative. Engaging.
Now, notice they aren't doing nearly as much damage this time. The boot camp will not tell you this, but range affects accuracy. Other things do as well, but it's worth remembering that. Now, if you're attacking a crate, then, you know, so what?
Enemy
But
structure destroyed.
if you're attacking something that can shoot back, you might not want to move closer. In this particular case, though, let's move
Order
closer.
received.
Just so that it does not take as long. That's
Enemy
probably
structure
enough.
destroyed.
Affirmative. Attacking.
And again, we're back to eliminating them quicker.
Enemy structure destroyed. This concludes the first training session. Click Next to go to the next session.
Yay, 1 part of 3 completed.
Mission accomplished.
Alright, just popping back out here to the main menu for a bit to show that if you click on single player game, nothing saved, it assumes that you're starting a new game. If you do have a save, you've got the continue game. Custom allows you to do something that's kind of a spoiler, so we're not going to get into that. Load game, new game would be just like before, and then you can choose any mission. So you can go backwards in time. I could redo Boot Camp 1, obviously we're not going to. Going to 2.
New drop zone. Welcome back to boot camp. You will now learn more advanced aspects of ground control. We will now concentrate on combat and teach you about your command APC. To begin your mission, order your available dropship to the planet's surface.
Alright then.
Dropship entering atmosphere. In front of your squads is a small field. Left-click to select your Marines and move them by right-clicking on the field where a couple of vehicles are moving about. Ignore the command APC for now. We'll get back to it later. Move to the green marker on the field to continue.
Now, interestingly, we cannot really see any vehicles moving about. It doesn't say move to the beacon, which is weird. Now, we could move directly this way. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's move, like, right
Order
there.
received.
And let's go ahead and follow them. And they, sometimes get hung up a little bit on obstacles like this. So it can be better to just move around and give yourself a bit of a berth.
Understood. I'm on my way.
Show no mercy. Destroy all 4 vehicles. The red bars on the vehicles display their health. The health bar decreases as the unit is taking damage. The red bar always appears when hostile units are taking damage.
Now here's a case where we could move in closer and finish them off more quickly. But since they can shoot back, I think we'll just hang out and let our troops do the thing. Humble destroyers, you don't say.
Enemy Pterodyne destroyed.
As we'll see later, that's a name selected at random.
Destroyed. Enemy Pterodyne destroyed. A vehicle is more heavily armored in the front than in the rear. Order your Marines to move further into the field and order them to attack the large Pterodyne. The arrows show you the way.
Move order received.
Alright, so we're gradually getting the training wheels taken off here. And they're going to tell us about armor facing.
Notice that even though your Marines are shooting at the Pterodyne, no health bar appears. That is because their weapons cannot penetrate the vehicle's armor in the front. Move your Marines behind the Pterodyne and note the difference.
Okay, so that's true as far as it goes. Let's try something else.
Understood. I'm on my way.
Let's move to the side of it.
Position acknowledged.
So they didn't tell us about range, but they are definitely telling us about this. That armor is different. Not doing anything from the side either.
Move order received.
So it's just a front and back mechanic.
Enemy Pterodyne destroyed. This also demonstrates the importance of flanking an enemy squad. Use several squads to attack the enemy from several directions at once. Just be careful not to expose your squads to friendly fire. Click Next to continue.
That's very good advice. So we don't have side facing, but you have to be more towards the back or more towards the front, even if it's on the side. Are you closer to the front or the back? That tells you what kind of armor you're going to be dealing with.
A new group of vehicles is approaching. This time they will return fire. Destroy them to continue.
Okay. So these are going to constantly move around, and this gives us an opportunity to use that knowledge. We want to be as close to their rear as we can.
Move order understood.
There we go. Now we're going to move up this way.
Enemy Pterodyne destroyed. Enemy attacking Squad 1.
So by carefully maneuvering around here, they're faster than us, so we can't outmaneuver them. They're going to move in a predictable pattern. And so we're going to try to stay towards the back of them and not towards their
Enemy
front,
attacking Squad 1.
therefore giving ourselves a firepower advantage.
Enemy
You don't have to do
Pterodyne
that.
destroyed.
It just makes the fight go better.
Enemy Pterodyne destroyed. Taking some damage. Your command APC is equipped to heal and repair damaged units. Click Next to continue. Move your APC close to the Marine Squad and you will see that it heals your soldiers automatically. Click Next after you've healed your Marines to continue the tutorial.
So we'll use our mini-map to do
Move
that.
order received.
And while we're waiting on this thing, probably a good time to mention that there is no in-mission save. There is no time acceleration. And those are things that you would obviously expect in any modern RTS, but it's not that unusual not to have them at this point. In-mission saving is a thing that was done in quite a few games at this point, but not so much time acceleration.
Move order received.
Squad 1 recharging.
We have the healing beam once they get close enough. There we
To
are.
move your infantry faster, you can load them into the command APC. Now let's try that. Load your Marine squad into the command APC. Select them and then click the command APC with the right mouse button.
And notice that little load icon is also available over here.
Understood. We will enter the APC.
The Marine squad is now securely loaded into the command APC. A small APC icon on the Marine squad button indicates that they are loaded into the APC. Make sure the APC is selected, and then move it to the green marker to continue.
Moving at once, Major.
Unload your Marine squad by selecting their squad button at the bottom of the screen. Give them a move order by clicking your right mouse button on a location close to the command APC. Unload your Marine squad to continue.
Understood.
Good.
I'm on my
We will
way.
now begin a series of small combat skirmishes to teach you about some of the unique units available under your command. Click Next to begin.
Notice that the infantry also obeys the facing orders.
Remember that all unit types, infantry, pterodynes, and aerodynes, are controlled the same way. Left-click to select or attack, and right-click to move or attack. Click Next to continue.
Now, they said a series of small combat skirmishes. In fact, this is the only one. They just want to teach us about aerodynes. So I have a feeling that originally this tutorial was probably designed with more of these and they decided to shorten it.
You will now learn how to use aerodynes. I have removed your control over your ground forces during this exercise. I want your full attention controlling aerodynes. Click Next to continue.
I like that comment about moving our control over the other stuff. The problem is, of course, that they didn't tell us that in one of the earlier boot camp things when it would have been useful, but still, good points for doing it
A
here.
fighter aerodyne squad is now under your command. Aerodynes have no trouble moving over steep terrain or stones since they fly some distance above the ground. Select the aerodyne by left-clicking either on the unit itself or on its squad button. Click Next to continue.
Find it a bit amusing they feel the need to tell us, and there's the focus working again, that aerodynes actually fly as we see them flying in front of us, and they're called aerodynes.
Just like any other unit, it is possible to track an aerodyne squad. Double-click with the left mouse button on the aerodyne unit again to have your view follow it. Familiarize yourself with the aerodyne. Try giving it a few move orders. Click Next when you are ready to continue.
Now, this is useful. As you can see, they're constantly moving around in some sort of holding pattern. They do not, they don't stand in place. They don't hover in place like the units on the ground just stay there. And then if you move them over an obstacle, they'll gradually just sort of move up just a little bit.
Copy that. Flight path initiated.
And if we move them back down to the field, they'll lower their altitude some.
Unable to plot vector,
Hostile
Major.
aerodynes are approaching your position. Order your aerodyne squad to destroy them. Use the tactical map to track the incoming aerodynes. Remember, red dots are hostile units. Destroy the hostile aerodynes to continue.
Definitely want to
That
use
bird is
the
going down.
group attack.
Enemy aerodyne destroyed.
And sometimes in these fights, I think they're pretty cool, but you'll see the enemy just sort of go out of
Enemy
range,
aerodyne destroyed.
or out of the draw distance of the engine, rather.
Enemy
Excellent.
aerodyne
That
destroyed.
ends
this training session. Click Next to end this session or stick around for some additional aerodyne dogfights.
Let's see a little bit more of this. Mostly because we're going to see some different types. Those were fighter aerodynes, but they didn't give them any weapons. These are recon
Enemy
ones, and
attacking
now
squad
they're
13.
armed. They are shooting little minigun type things at us,
Enemy aerodyne destroyed.
and we're taking some damage.
Enemy attacking squad 13. Enemy aerodyne destroyed. Enemy aerodyne destroyed.
So, I believe that was it. They gonna give us any more? And basically, I could sit here forever. This mission would never end. Of course, we're not going to do that. So we have completed 2. 1 more boot camp left to go.
Mission accomplished. New drop zone. Welcome to the last boot camp. After this course, you should be ready to prove your worth on the real battlefield. Let's start the session by dropping the dropship and beginning the final course. Dropship entering atmosphere.
Time to see if we're worthy.
In addition to the small tactical map, you have access to a larger tactical overview of the battlefield. The tactical overview is activated by clicking on the small arrow button next to the map or by pressing M on your keyboard. Bring up the tactical overview, and when ready, click Next to continue.
There's the objective marker. Line points to it. Move APC and Light Pterodyne Squad there. I find it a bit confusing here that they tell us that, but then we, again, controls locked out. Won't actually let us do it yet.
The tactical overview displays the entire battlefield in greater detail and identifies the objectives you must achieve to complete the mission. An objective has been marked on your map. Click Next to continue. Move both the command APC and your Light Pterodyne Squad to that location. It is also possible to issue move orders on the tactical maps by first selecting your squads and then right-clicking their destination on the tactical map. Move your squads to the marked location to continue.
Okay, and that's the way I actually prefer. Bigger map, more detail. So if you're not moving really close to where you are, I prefer to use this method.
Move order received.
And then M can also close the map. We're going to get hung up here a bit.
You have completed this objective. If you activate your large tactical overview, you will notice that the objective is marked completed. Most objectives will be more complex than this. Click Next to continue.
Okay. It is marked. But I want that closed whenever it's time to read this stuff because it won't show with the map open.
You will now move through the boot camp combat course. Pay attention now. The enemies will be armed with live ammunition. The main goal is for you to make it through the entire course without losing the APC or your Pterodyne Squad. You will receive additional instructions during the combat course. Click Next to continue. Before you enter the combat course, take a moment to review your objectives. Activate the tactical overview by clicking on the arrow icon above the small map or by pressing the M key. Click Next when you are ready.
And we have Alpha. Just a short distance away. Move there. Beta, destroy all vehicles hiding in the vegetation. Okay, so we're going to have some combat coming up.
Okay, Commander.
Just waiting for everybody to get out of the way.
Well done. Let's wait here for a moment. Your squad is now in a very dark area, making it harder for enemies to detect and hit your squad. Knowing how to use the terrain is the mark of a great commander. Click Next to continue.
Okay, so vision and accuracy also affected by darkness. Darkness of the target.
I have a feeling that you'll soon be attacked, Commander. If you are notified about friendly fire, separate your squad from your APC.
Of course, it was just a feeling. This wasn't scripted to happen right at this point or anything.
Enemy Pterodyne destroyed.
Explosions light everything up momentarily.
Enemy attacking Command APC. Enemy Pterodyne destroyed. Enemy Pterodyne destroyed, Commander. Now continue with your next objective.
Oh, let's.
Okay, Commander, we're moving out.
Destroy all the vehicles in the vegetation.
Enemy attacking Command APC. Enemy Pterodyne destroyed. Enemy Pterodyne destroyed. Did you notice that your squads automatically started to fire on the enemies? You can change the squad behavior with the squad behavior menu. Click Next to continue.
Okay, so this is a bunch of exposition that's coming up, but it is important to understand these things, particularly if you're playing on a harder difficulty, which we will be. So, lots of more advanced controls coming up.
Notice the new menu available on the right side of the screen. That is the squad behavior menu. From that menu, you can control the behavior of your selected squad. Click Next to continue. For now, let's concentrate on the different attack modes. There are 3 different attack modes: Free Fire, Return Fire, and Hold Fire. Free Fire is the default setting. Click Next to continue. In Free Fire mode, your squad will automatically attack an enemy within their weapon range. Click Next to continue. In Return Fire mode, your squad will only open fire if fired upon first. Often recon and scout units should be in the Return Fire mode, so as to only fire once they are discovered. Their superior view range will often allow them to detect enemies before being detected themselves. Click Next to continue. In Hold Fire mode, the squad will never automatically attack enemies. Hold Fire mode is for those situations when you absolutely want to be 100% sure of no friendly fire, or you only want the squad to fire at targets you designate. Click Next to continue. The selections you make only affect the squad or squads currently selected. Now select both your squads and try setting them to return fire. You can select both units by left-clicking, holding down the button, and dragging a box around the units on the battlefield. Click Next to continue.
Only return fire, Major.
You can order your squads to follow other squads. Select a squad and right-click on another friendly unit. Your selected squad will now follow that squad wherever you send it. If the followed squad is attacked, the squad following it will attack the assailant. Now move to the next objective marked on your map.
So I find it useful sometimes to have the APC follow the combat units.
Moving at once, Major.
It says Command APC guarding. So then I only have to move the one unit and the APC will follow. We're going to Gamma. And just says move there. Alright.
Okay, Commander.
Well done, Commander. Now once again, take a look at the squad behavior menu, but this time concentrate on the formation section. There are 3 different formations to choose from, and each has its own use. Click Next to continue. Select your Pterodyne squad. In line formation, the units order themselves into a line, maximizing their firepower, but taking up more space. This makes friendly fire between squads more likely. Use line formation in open terrain or when friendly fire is not an issue. Click Next to continue.
Notice them jostling around there, and they're working on facing towards the same vector. They'll switch positions as soon as you give them a different formation command.
Box formation groups your units tight together. It is extremely useful when moving several squads around each other or through tight passages. Click Next to continue.
Okay,
That's the
box
default,
formation.
where we were before.
The last formation is column formation. Your squad will form in a column, which is useful when your squad is patrolling a ridge or some other terrain feature. Try out the different formations, and then click Next when you are ready to continue. Time to move on, Commander. I have marked a new objective on your map. Move your Command APC and Pterodyne Squad to Objective Zulu to continue.
Okay, Commander.
And it's very close by.
Neither your Command APC nor your Pterodyne Squad has the firepower to take out the 2 containers behind the wall. You need something more powerful. Click Next to continue. Your Pterodyne Squad is equipped with a special weapon designed to take out heavily armored enemies. Select your Pterodyne Squad and look for the small special weapon icon in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Click Next to continue.
Now, what she said about not being able to take these out with our firepower, that's actually not true. But that's because there's a bonus to your firepower on easy difficulty, which these missions are set to by default, being boot camp. So, under normal conditions, that would be true, but the way they balanced out the difficulties, it actually no longer is. We'll still follow the instructions,
To use a
though.
special weapon, simply click on the special weapon icon with the left mouse button. And when the cursor changes, click either button on the target you wish to attack. Click on the icon again to cancel the attack. Now use the Pterodyne special weapon on the containers.
Special weapon confirmed.
High explosive grenade launcher. What goes up must come down.
Enemy structure destroyed. Special weapons can be used only a set number of times and come with varying numbers of charges. The spheres next to the special weapon icon represent the number of charges left. Here in boot camp, though, you'll have an unlimited supply. Click Next to continue.
That's one of many weapons or equipment that you can customize before missions. We'll get up to that later.
The icon next to the special weapon icon is the equipment icon. This Pterodyne Squad has been equipped with a repair module. Simply click on the equipment to activate it. You have received a new objective. Move there to continue the combat course.
Oh, let's move your squad to the objective Omega. And it's pretty apparent at this point we're just going to take a route around this, so we might conclude that we're about halfway through combat course.
Negative, Commander.
It's impassable terrain usually.
Impossible, Commander.
When you hear
Move
that,
or receive.
you gotta adjust the pointer a little bit.
In the next part of the combat course, you will have a chance to prove your worth as a commander in the Craven military. A new dropship and drop zone is available. Drop the dropship to continue.
Oh, how nice.
Dropship entering atmosphere.
Prove my worth as a commander. So I'm expecting
Squads
more
can
of a
be grouped
challenge.
together. Select the squads you want in the group either by drag selecting or shift clicking them. Then hold down Control and press a number key, 1 through 9. When pressing that number key later, those units grouped will be immediately selected. Click Next to continue. There are a total of 10 armed vehicles in the area between you and the end of the combat course. Your next objective is to destroy them all. Remember to use the terrain to your advantage and to avoid friendly fire. Good luck.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm going to
box
set everybody to
formation.
box. Just for relative standard ease of maneuverability, I'm going to set everybody to free
Okay,
fire.
return and fire. Okay,
No,
free
fire. And then we're going to move out. And as we do this,
Okay, Commander.
the enemies are going to move around quite a bit. And this is not difficult, but it is fairly lengthy. So pretty
Okay,
soon
Commander,
I'm going to
moving
switch
out.
over to do some plot demonstration, but I want to see one more thing first.
Move order received.
You can see there's lots of hills, lots of valleys. Let's go ahead and
Negative, Commander.
focus fire.
Enemy
There's also
Pterodyne
lots of
destroyed.
light and lots
Okay,
of
Commander,
shadow.
we're
They're
moving
intentionally
out.
giving you a whole bunch of terrain here to deal with.
Move order received. Okay, Commander.
Enemy attacking Command APC.
Okay, Commander, we're moving out.
We've knocked out one. We've got 9 more to go.
Enemy attacking Command APC.
And I'm purposefully heading off this way into the teeth of it, so to speak.
Enemy
up here.
attacking Command APC. This is a good strategic location. High ground gives your squad an increased accuracy.
Yep, so now we know that that's a thing. So we're
Squad
basically
5
just going to
chosen.
hang out over here.
Enemy attacking Squad 1.
We've got some repairing going on. Good. We'll get to combat unit over here, combat unit over here once the infantry catches up.
Enemy Pterodon
And just sort of
destroyed.
watch this play out as we get into some plot synopsis. Ground control comes from an age in gaming where hefty manuals were the norm, and it is definitely no exception to that. Almost 100 pages includes specs of all the units. If you recall back to the intro cinematic at the beginning of this episode, they made mention of the Third World War and a colonial conflict between corporations and the Order of the New Dawn. The manual covers both of those factions, who are the primary protagonist and antagonist, but it is specifically written to the player's corporate sides, the Craven Corporation. As to that whole World War scenario, it is known to history as the 16 Minutes War and occurred on March 27th, 2093. We don't know a lot more than that because of the devastation that resulted. Unfortunately, billions of refugees, everything existed before that point is known as the Old World, and what happened after that point is known as the Age of Chaos. It was definitely the end of nation-states as the political powers on Earth. A massive nuclear exchange that only killed millions directly, but the fallout and everything was just catastrophic. The Order of the New Dawn, at the time of the 16 Minutes War, was merely a minor apocalyptic cult, but they were a forward-thinking one. They preserved some key things that would be vital in humanity's future and also in the Order's future. One was the Liber Aurora Novae, the Book of the New Dawn. Millions of digitally recorded images and books, etc. Ever since that time, if you want to read Dickens or Yeats or any of the classics, you pay royalties to the church. You want to view classic art? You pay royalties to the Order of the New Dawn. They also had the Spicilegium Dei, God's Gleanings, nearly 1 million organic tissue samples, the only known preserved biological material, and of course, various technology. Some of the corporations also survived the 16 Minutes War, though, but were obviously greatly weakened. And as the recovery went forward in the Age of Chaos, some decades later, between 2160 and 2177, a conventional war, off and on, was fought between the corporations and the Order of the New Dawn. Essentially, they'd formed a federation to try to block the Order's economic power, and though the war severely weakened the Order of the New Dawn, it also revealed to them the necessity of having a strong military arm. And by the end, the ceasefire allowed for them to incorporate their holdings. In general, the Order of the New Dawn relies on mobile military forces rather than conventional straight-ahead assaults, but they are very numerous. They would rank third overall among the Earth's corporations if listed in terms of manpower. So that's the enemy. On our side, we have the Craven Corporation, Crayven, which was founded during the early days of that conventional war that I just mentioned in 2162 by Reno Craven. It was initially a small construction company. Craven was a brilliant entrepreneur and quickly grew Craven's holdings. Towards the end of his life, diagnosed with terminal bone cancer, he was increasingly obsessed with deep space colonization, liquidating billions of company assets to funnel into that effort. His descendants did not approve of this. Some of them tried to block him from doing it, most notably the board chairman Julian Craven, who was his eldest nephew. Shortly after that, Julian died in a, quote, accidental plane crash, and the rest of Reno Craven's offspring decided it's best not to try to oppose him. Before Reno passed in 2237, the corporation established colonies on 4 planets that include the famous lavish domed gardens on Mars and colonizing the jewel world of Nevesta. In the nearly 2 centuries since then, Craven has expanded to 14 worlds colonized, numerous mining facilities, and their motto ever since Reno's death has been, "We bring new worlds to life." They have a more conventional, straight-ahead, heavy armor type of military. And so that's the backdrop for the current conflict, which happens on the planet of Krieg 7b. The year is now 2419, or almost exactly 400 years past present day, and over 300 years since the 16-minute war.
That was impressive, Commander. Click next when you are ready to continue.
Okay, Commander.
Squad 1 recharging. Now look at the squad behavior menu again. The movement mode selects how your squad moves. There are 3 different modes: offensive movement, defense movement, and hold position. Offensive movement is the default setting. Click next to continue.
Yay, more exposition.
In offensive movement mode, the squad always moves to the location you've ordered them to, even if they are fired upon. This mode gives you maximum control over your squad's movement. Offensive movement is best used for assault maneuvers. Click next to continue. In defensive movement mode, the squad will halt if fired upon and turn to face the enemy. Defensive movement is very useful when slowly exploring new terrain. Click next to continue. The last mode is hold position, which is the ultimate defensive mode. The squad will not move an inch from its current position except for making sure the front is facing the enemy. A squad in hold position mode will not obey any movement orders until a new mode is selected. Click next to continue. Commander, you have successfully completed the combat course. By now you should be able to confront real enemies. Remember what you have learned here, and you will do fine. Click next to end this training session.
And when we finish this up, we get to meet our main protagonist and dive into the campaign proper. That will wait until next time. But until then, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoy this series. I think Ground Control is quite an interesting game. Be back with more of it soon.
Mission accomplished.